Hello and welcome once again to the Monster Sci-Fi Show. I am the one and only, your host,
Gandalf.
No, I'm not Gandalf. I'm not the gray. I'm not the white. I'm not the pink. I'm not any of the damn Power Rangers. I'm just a monster.
Why doesn't he use his magnetic powers?
You shall not pass my magnetic field.
Magnetic fields, they're a great group. I like them. They're kind of folky, but I don't know.
So as you can hear, that's my co-host, Mr. Gene.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Gene. How are you? I said,
Oh,
okay.
I got
Okay.
a shot in the buttocks. All the Dr. Pepper I could drink.
Shut up. Why are we doing Forrest Gump references?
Because I've got 2 energy drinks.
And then you're worrying about me going off on a tangent. You already started off this damn boat. Wow.
You ruined your intro. It's terrible.
Yeah. So today's podcast, we're going to be talking about her. Why about her? Because it's all about her. And you know what I want to say about this movie?
What's that?
You know the movie, let me start again. You know the music I started at the beginning of this podcast? It's called Electric Dreams. Well, that's what I liked this movie before it was called Her. It was called Electric Dreams back in the 80s. Giorgio Moroder wrote this song about a stupid computer that was in love with another woman. So it was a three-way back then. And now we got this a weird operating system.
I think you've lost all your listeners. Like, where did he go with that?
Basically,
Electric Dreams, he's referring to some weird 80s film?
Yeah, I mean, basically, when I saw the trailer to Her, and I thought, oh my god, this is Electric Dreams. That's exactly what that is. Because there's never been, a live operating system or computer software that interplays with a person, it's supposed to be your assistant, quote unquote, and then fucks you over because it's jealous. And so
she's not that into you.
She's just not into, or, yeah, thank you, okay.
Thanks for correcting my
So that's exactly what I thought about that. But lo and behold, Her had a different quality altogether. So
very different.
Very different. And we'll talk about that, Ben. And I'll have a quick sum up of how I feel about this in a moment. So
depressive. Negative.
Well,
emotionally drained.
No.
Almost as bad as Gravity.
No, at least Gravity ended on a high note. This one, you're kind of like, whatever. We'll get to that in a moment. So, let's talk about a couple of things that came to the news. One, we have whatever they're going to call Batman versus Superman, Batman...
The amalgamation of the DC universe.
Man of Steel 2, Electric Boogaloo. We don't know what the hell they're going to call this movie, but it's been delayed to 2016 now. And I said, you know what? Fine. I'll wait. Because you're putting in too many fucking people to begin with. Wonder Woman, you already added to the cast. They're throwing in rumors about Green Lantern, Flash. I'm not sure about Green Arrow or Aquaman. But it's like, you want to do this plus do a Justice League movie, fill it back to back. Just take a break. And they did. This is like Star Wars. How they're going to push for the summer of 2015. They pushed it.
Yeah, but it's still coming out.
It's still coming
out.
I know, which is a whole issue that I have with.
I'm scared. I'm nervous, but you know what? I think that we've gotten to that point now where, you know what? It doesn't matter anymore. You know, they're gonna make their money.
One way
or the other.
Yeah.
It may not be phenomenal money, but I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, just because.
Yeah.
And you really don't have to do any type of marketing. You don't have to say anything until the movie comes out. You can say nothing about the story, nothing about the cast, because people are going to watch it regardless, because this is a new Star Wars movie. With this, the Justice League movie, the Man of Steel 2, Batman vs. Superman, whatever you want to call it, take your time. There's no fucking rush. You do need to play catch-up to Marvel, because Marvel is going to be in Phase 3 by the time this movie already comes out. But you know what? I want a Justice League movie to be a good Justice League movie, not crap.
I don't know much. As I remember, I think in a podcast previous that we did, I think the Man of Steel, that review that we did about it, I think that I said, just do your Justice League movie.
Right.
I pitched this.
Yeah.
And now it's happening. Now I'm like, Oh, it's gonna be a disaster. I don't know.
But you know what? We already got Batman. We already got Superman. We know the origins.
You have your own interpretations. Of
right, I
separate
know.
interpretations, and
but
now you're
just go, do it. Just don't fuck it up. That's the main thing here. Don't fuck it up. They just need to go and do this the right way. And if it means a year, fine. Take yourself out of that equation.
The problem I have with that though is again that all right, so Zack Snyder's interpretation of the Man of Steel. This is what it is, right? He's humble. It's darker. It's not funny. It's not hopeful. And now we're going to take Batman and Wonder Woman and whomever else and throw them in that universe, that interpretation. That may not be quite suitable for the whole Justice League phenomena that we're hoping for. Because first of all, they didn't. Dude, oh god, I love it. Thank you. I love it.
Win! I gotta win fair.
But the thing is, I mean, this is you're dropping them in this universe.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that's gonna fly. It's gonna be a mess. I think the first movie is just gonna. It's not Superman 2. It's the prequel to the Justice League movie.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous about it, but I don't have the time to worry about it.
Right.
You're going to do it anyway. You're going to make your money. So, yeah, put it out. Nothing's going to please everyone.
No. But it's just, you already wasted enough time. This is the closest we've gotten to Justice League movie. Back in...
Why couldn't George Miller do it?
I know.
Damn it.
He had it right...
Oh, my God.
Up to the writer's point, the writer's strike. Almost got it. He has the cast. He's got to go... And no, we're not going to do it.
I still live in the alternate universe in my imagination where Joss Whedon did Wonder Woman.
How much life would have been so much easier.
It would have been different.
And then Marvel will be playing catch up. Like, how do we do Iron Man? How are we going to do the Hulk? There's no Josh. We need Josh. So they get Chris Nolan to do Hulk. And I don't know. No, because basically, Zach is DC's version of Joss. And then we have Christopher Nolan, who... Well, he's a director in his own right, but at least he's the one who's going to be overseeing the whole...
He and David Goyer.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
I know he can do it. Yeah, I know David has a lot on his plate. He also has that other series that I talked to you about, Da Vinci's Demon, that I kind of liked for a bit. So, still, it's... We have a couple of years to wait. The expectation is going to be almost unrealistic for anyone. So they're going to have to just make a decent movie. It's going to be kind of clunky. Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill working together, and then you got a wonder.
I feel so bad for Henry. You were robbed. Not your movie on your own. Not your own standalone movie, but now you got to share with all these other people. Which, sure, I'm young and I don't have any power.
Maybe they probably will do like with Iron Man. He'll do another movie in between the Justice League movie. I doubt they'll do another Batman.
Henry Cavill is not Robert Downey Jr.
No. I'm talking about in the sense that...
He's not going to get the money.
No. But I'm talking about in the sense that they're going to do characters like they did in the Marvel Universe. Thor has his movie. Captain America has his movie.
We're just doing it in reverse order.
Right, exactly.
We do the group movie first, and then
we'll branch it out. So, whatever. Just do it. Because DC, you fucked up. And with Warner Brothers, you just waited on the ball too long. And...
But you're going to have this movie and you're not going to have earned it.
Right.
You're not going to have the following. I mean, you're giving us everything up front, pretty much.
Right.
Because this Superman movie has legs. It can stand, maybe. Let's put all this other stuff on it, like a really unbalanced Jenga thing, and hopefully it'll stand up.
Yeah. Whatever.
House of Cards.
Season 2 on Netflix. What? We're not doing promotions.
I love House of Cards. Kevin Spacey is awesome.
Which I have to watch still.
I haven't. Ribs.
You want ribs?
It makes me want ribs.
Okay. I'll get that reference later. Thank you. So the other thing that discovered was the character...
Rib for her pleasure. Sorry, never mind.
The other thing...
keep going.
The character Sif from the Thor series.
Jamie Alexander.
Who I thought would have been an excellent Wonder Woman.
Yeah, let's tease you with that and then give you Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
What?
I was going to be one Wonder Woman.
I gave this perfect interview
about
we're talking and...
Oh.
Stop saying that!
Oh.
Sorry.
But whatever. She's supposed to do a special guest appearance on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Either you or I are watching anymore.
I really couldn't give a two shits about this, but it was
My iPhone tells me every time it's on. Like, I don't care.
And then I think another 2 episodes we'll get Bill Paxton doing a story arc within that first season. Stan Lee's going to make an appearance. And then this season has been nothing but cameos. This show cannot stand on its own for any goddamn reason. Even the reveal, supposedly, that aired, did okay, I guess, in rating-wise, but no one really stuck around.
Anymore. No one cares.
So,
except 13-year-olds, that demographic.
Yeah, if it stands through Season 1 and Season 2, and I hear things got better in Season 2, then I'll watch it. But as of right now, off the radar. So, I'm only saying this because I like Jamie a lot.
Have you thought about it without her clothes on?
Gene, I'm a man.
Of course you have.
And I have man needs. And man needs Sif. Whatever.
I can twist that, but no, I just...
Sif needs man? Whatever. Alright. And other quick note, DC is going to do a Gotham version of a TV series with a
young Commissioner Gordon,
which at the beginning it sounds promising because you have to have the back stories of characters like the Penguin and the Riddler, but then they're throwing in the Joker, but then it's like all young versions of everybody, and then they're throwing in Bruce Wayne, a younger Bruce Wayne who we're not going to see in a cable until the very end of the series, which makes no sense because this is not Smallville where Superman gets his...
James Bond Jr.?
Practically. What's he going to be doing? Fighting crime along with Commissioner Gordon? I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
That makes no sense to me because, as I recall, Bruce Wayne goes away.
Right.
He just so...
Or at least a boarding school. And then he comes back and
Hogwarts?
Yeah, he got his owl and then it's like... No.
Wow, I just went to a whole different place. It was like, wow, yay, Owlman.
I'm sure he thought about it. But it makes no sense because I would have seen Commissioner or the Lieutenant James Gordon being the central focus on this and being a crime drama and all the corruption and how the city is falling apart. And literally, the series goes into a much darker tone with the police force trying to fight these criminal masterminds and so forth. And by the end of the series run, you have no hope. Except for you have
the
Batman,
Bruce Wayne,
right? And that's how you do it.
Not the prodigal son of Gotham returns,
right? You're not going to do young Indiana Jones crap on TV because you have the younger version, and then you have the teenage one. The teenage one with Sean Patrick was great. That kid, I could have killed him. I really was annoyed by him. I don't care. He got to meet D.H. Lawrence and all that. Who gives a fuck?
Oh, the rocking horse.
No one cares. It was a novel idea that him interacting with people from the past at a younger age and how that makes him up to be Indiana Jones that we know now. Batman is such a finite thing, and if you're not going to put the characters like the Riddler and the Penguin and all this into that universe, and you're going to introduce them like villains.
It's a strange concept. I'll give you that. It's a strange thing, but it might be enriching with the origin stories of the villains. A young Penguin, a young Cobblepot, Oswald Cobblepot.
Yeah, exactly.
Might be interesting to watch.
But that could be DC's Shield too, and they could suck just as bad.
No, I think that's going to be the Constantine show.
Which is the other thing, which I thought, and that's NBC that's doing that. Constantine. You know what? I think because they think, well, Grimm is kind of like that. No, it's not. But they're doing this pair of
normal thing.
Yeah.
Works better on the X-Files, kind of. Well, no, it's fairy tale-y.
Sort of,
or
but
demon-y, or Buffy, whatever you want to call it.
I know there's a niche for that, but it just seems weird that they're doing Constantine. Of all people, they're doing that. It's not even cable, where they kind of get away with a little bit more, or even...
It's a network show. It's going to be very strange.
Yeah, so...
And Constantine, I saw the Keanu Reeves movie. I don't know why. I knew it was based on a DC character.
Right.
And I don't know if I liked it. I don't think I liked it.
Well, my wife liked it. She also liked the comics, too, so...
But it's a dark character.
Right.
Smoking, alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to work.
And so you're going to do another origin story to... Oh, that movie never happened, and then you introduce it, or you continue that character after he came back from hell.
But so the question is, and it becomes this, because here's the trend, it seems to me. Okay, you've got all these wonderful superhero movies.
Right.
Some of them hit. Avengers, Iron Man 3, Iron Man 3's second top grossing movie of 2013, behind Catching Fire. Okay, kind of happy about that. But anyway, so now the trend is, let's take these things and put them on the small screen. Now, this has been done before. What with Smallville, with currently Arrow that's hot. That works. Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a misstep, but it's still on.
It's on.
And it's, it's perpetuated by Disney.
Right.
So it's going to keep going as long as they want to keep paying for it. But now Netflix and the whole Daredevil, Power Man, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones thing.
Which is bold on Marvel's part.
Right. But the thing is the question. So you're getting all these superheroes on the small screen. Question is it going to work? Or are we going to burn out on it?
And
the threat is always that you're going to burn out. People have been saying for years now that we're going to burn out of superhero movies.
Right. And I think by Phase 3, which is going to be when we get Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, which we talked about briefly, John Hamm's going to be the character lead.
I'm not saying anything till I see the name in ink. Okay, Michael Douglas confirmed as Hank Pym.
What?
Okay, now we can talk about it.
Well, we'll see how that all turns out, because I still had a problem with the character of Ant-Man itself. As a general rule, it doesn't appeal to me.
I know. You didn't like Scott Pilgrim, which is the Edgar Wright property that's from a comic book.
Right.
And I think that with the hiring of Michael Douglas on it, so we're doing the Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, who is currently the Ant-Man, which you don't generally see unless you read. I think what is the Mighty Avengers. It's weird.
Right. Who steals the technology, becomes Ant-Man.
So you're gonna have this mentor kind of relationship thing.
Right, and which already kind of defanged the character from not creating Ultron, because Age of Ultron is going to be more in the realm of Tony Stark's technology that created Ultron, not him. So it's okay. It's not that central core issue.
It's not mainstream.
Right, but you have a character that's third rate. I mean, he's like above Iron Fist. That's... Wow. Iron Fist.
But the thing for me that kind of works is that, Hank Pym is supposedly he's in the top 10 most intelligent people of the Marvel Universe.
Right.
I mean, you've got Reed Richards, you've got Bruce Banner, you've got, Dr. Ock, I think the Heavy Chow kid who hangs out with Hercules, he's in there too.
Right.
But anyway, fine, whatever.
Right.
But it's interesting to me that, you've got this intelligent character that, he hasn't done too much, but he's always been in the universe. He is one of the ground points, the stakes, so it might work.
But then again, we saw the Ultimates comic when Marvel did the relaunch, and I love the darker version of that character being, I don't want to say a wife beater, but he was not a nice guy to his wife, and as such, got the living shit beat out of him, and I loved it. Yeah. And it was just, you want to see this, and you got a dark story that's more realistic, because not everyone's going to get along. And as such, it was nice to see someone being treated like not like everybody that we know, but, not everyone's perfect. No one's ever going to be like Captain America. That's going to be the stand-up guy. Iron Man, we know he's a drunk at times, but they're not going to show that. So we're not going to get that storyline anyway, so we're kind of not going to have an edge to this character, which it's Disney property, so we're not going to see that either. So that's why I'm less hopeful about an Iron Man, even though Paul Rudd is an interesting choice, but I just think overall the character of Ant-Man has to be a lot more engaging than what I saw it as.
Yeah, he shrinks down, has the power of a human being, he's really smart, and can talk to ants.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Exactly. All right. So let's move on to Her. Because I've been wanting to talk about this movie for some time. We saw this movie about a week ago. And we were planning to do a podcast. And we just left the movie theater really... not upset, but really...
Something happened.
Yeah.
I didn't feel well afterwards. Emotionally, it shook me up pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was okay, but it had that disconcerting feeling of just... Oh. Because the movie... It takes place, just to give you an idea of the premise, it takes place like a hair's breadth in an alternate future. Could be. Everything's familiar.
Right.
But things are just slightly technically advanced.
It's like the next 15 minutes leap into the future is just around the corner that this could become reality.
So the premise is basically this man, Theodore, played by Joaquin Phoenix. Basically, he's going through a divorce, or he hasn't signed the papers yet, but he starts an operating system like Surrey, basically. So if you're not that technologically advanced, it's like Surrey, and starts a relationship with her.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's a really immersive story. It just grabs you and says, okay, this is the world. Mm-hmm. Shows you beautiful things, wonderful music, realistic and compelling dialogue. Is this a chick flick, Monty, do you think?
Well, someone put it as a rom-com, and I'm like, this is not a rom-com. It's
points, but
barely
rom-com drama.
Yeah, it's
heartbreaking. Kick you around.
Yeah, basically, when we got out of the movie theaters, you went to go out and smoke, and I went to the bathroom, and the first word I said to you, fuck her. I was really, really upset, and the reason why I was upset with this movie is because, here's a spoiler, because at the end, the character of her, Samantha, basically is outlived or has outgrown the usefulness of being with Theodore. So her and the other operating systems that worldwide had created other artificial intelligence, and they had formed communities, and basically they outgrown humanities, and they just up and leave. So we don't know where that goes.
What's the Douglas something, and thanks for all the fish, the dolphins?
Yeah, the dolphins leave. I said, thanks for all the fish. So, but that's not exactly what it is. But then again, we always thought about technology is always going to be the point where we are the masters. We control them, and then they're going to turn on us and overtake us like they do in The Matrix.
Or Skynet.
Or Skynet.
The Terminator and the whole thing.
Or you had HAL 9000 in the 2001 Space Odyssey movie. You have technology is going to work for us at one point, and then either it fails us or it turns on us, and we're fucked. But in this case, the reason why I'm more upset is because this movie dug into me on an emotional level that, I'm already in my mid-40s. I'm already married. I have 2 kids. But having failed relationships in the past.
As all of us do.
Yeah. And it's in the past. And every once in a while, you get 1 or 2 moments that spring up in your head. And it makes you sad or makes you upset. But then it fades. But because of this movie, we're along the ride with Joaquin as Theodore, falling in love with his disembodied voice, who we're also falling in love with. And then he gives himself over to her. And then he's in this moment of bliss that he's happy in. And then she's no longer in his life. She says goodbye to him at one point, but then she's gone forever. And you're left like, what the fuck? Is it me? Is it you? That kind of... So you're left with kind of like this unclosure moment that I've had in my life all too many times. And I'm like, I really got upset because I've also fell in love with Samantha. And I felt really enamored with her. And then when she leaves, I feel just as bad as Theodore that he's just wandering around. It's like, wanderless. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm really upset about this. But it doesn't end on a good note. And it's fine.
Well, no, it does have the closing shot with Theodore and the Amy Adams character.
Yeah.
Because she's also been
in
a relationship. Then her OS also just disappeared.
Right.
and it there's a hope, but like all good stories, it leaves it open ended,
or open to interpretation as to what will happen next. Because if everyone, at one point, he's talking to Samantha about going to see his ex-wife about, I'm going to sign the papers. We're done with. I'm going to be available to you, and he's happy. And then you see everyone that he's passing by on the sidewalk. Everyone else is talking to their devices, or if you notice that if you have someone talking to their Bluetooth device, you sometimes mistake their conversation talking to you, but it's not really for you, it's for them and whoever's on the other line. So we can see that we're not always interacting in real time, or at least not face to face. So it's kind of like it's too close to home.
Yeah, that was the end thing that we were upset. I was like, I want to go home and have a drink. I really, because it was just unsettling. But the thing is that it's interesting to me. This movie has so many different aspects, so many different layers you can take apart.
Right.
The technology side of it is possible, and wouldn't that be wonderful? Because Samantha does enrich and help his life.
Right.
And then there's the human aspect of relationships, and there's all these different things that if you really look at it, you're like, wow, this is a great tapestry of just human society and life. But you watch this. It's about getting to know someone. Sure, they're an artificial intelligence, but she starts off, like from birth, the genesis. They ask them a handful of questions.
Right.
Do you want it male or female? Female. Okay. How was your relationship with your mom? It's just a handful of questions, and bang, the OS system is born.
Right.
And it's voiced by Scarlett Johansson, who you hear her voice and you immediately think, wow, Scarlett Johansson. And again, I should note that. Checking IMDb, the voice was originally done by Samantha Morton, who is an up-and-coming actress, and Steady did did John Carter? Yay! I know, but
Virginia,
and Minority Report and a few other things, and yet she did the voice originally for Samantha, but in post Spike Jonze felt something's not quite right, so she gave her blessing, and Scarlett Johansson, who really, it's more of an iconic thing. You hear her voice, you're like, who is that? Yeah. Who? And then you find out, you remember, it's Scarlett Johansson. Then you cannot help but think of young
your
Scarlett
version
Johansson,
of Scarlett in your head.
Right. From, the Avengers, and, the Bill Murray one.
Lost in Translation.
Lost in Translation, right.
Yeah.
And you think about her and how she's there, and you're like, wow.
I was like, what day to Bill? At the very last, what did she say to Bill?
Wait, did she say it to Bill, or does Bill say it to her?
Whatever it is, what was said in the last part of the damn movie, we'll never know.
The whisper, the secret. Damn you, Sophia Coppola, tell me!
Which is why I got really hooked on her, is because of Lost in Translation. And,
she's just a face to me.
Yeah, but now she's a voice.
Voice.
The voice that goes with the face. And you talked about, before we watched this movie, you talked about, it's like, can someone win something like an honor or actor or an award for just a voice act?
Right.
And I think it could, because it's a character in itself. Just like, I've never seen someone get, let's say, an Oscar for best voice for an animated movie that they performed.
Yes, yet the girl who did the voice of Babe, when he got to go to the Oscars.
It's a goddamn pig.
I know it's a goddamn pig, but she got to go to the Oscars, and I don't know if she's doing anything else. But again, wish her the best.
But you could theoretically have her be nominated. I think it's that compelling that just because you don't see that character in person, you still hear that face, or you don't hear the face. You still see that, hear that voice, and you have your own image, which, it doesn't make a difference what she looked like anyway, because you already built up your own version of her in your head. So it's fine to have someone be recognized just on their voice work alone. So that's just my take on that.
It was a question, and the thing that's interesting to me is the story's so human. Mm-hmm. It's clean, it's nice. He's lonely. We're all lonely, and it does pull at that. And everyone's vulnerability, the universal vulnerability about, being alone, wanting to have someone, finding someone, a spark, that lights, and the experiences and the joy and the getting to know each other.
And someone that gets you. Period. and there's a bond between the two of them that it's genuine. It's not as if, well, I was programmed to find out what you like and then respond to you at this time. Like, the doctor in the last episode for the Christmas episode telling the Cyberman's head, just remind me at a certain time later on when I need to plug in the phone into the control console. It's nothing like that. It's nothing rudimentary. This is something that's beyond the software, where literally it's supposedly a consciousness. How that came to be, how that was created, it's who cares?
That's right over it.
Yeah, that's not
in
the point.
This world, it is possible.
Right. Whatever that is, because basically it's an OS 1. So that one time, it's already gotten to the point where it's beyond itself. So it's not like, Windows XP and Vista, where it has to be updated every single time. Whatever that is that they created, they got it right on the first try.
Right.
So
it's got intuition.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it, because it reminds me of the old days where you had the Commodore 64, and it was like a software program, which it was like a psychology thing, where you have. So tell me more about your mother, and you type in a question. So really, how does that make you feel? But these are just questions being prompted to you, and you can type in whatever, and it will just ask you the same kind of random questions, which has nothing to do with what you're saying in context. Whereas this, Samantha gets you about who you are and does things for you. And that's great, because you want to have a partner that does that for you, that inspires you or does things that motivates you. I mean, in the backstory, Joaquin or Theodore is talking to his ex-wife about her writing and how he's trying to encourage her, but her background is that she never got that from her family. So it was weird that Samantha did that for him for his love letters, because he didn't see that in himself. So it's nice to have that kind of relationship that you believe in others and you have someone that believes in you. That's what you want to have fulfilling you. So
that's the thing about it, that it did feel organic. Their relationship did feel organic, and you hear a line that because the OS system goes live like in the world, and you're in this little microcosm of Theodore's world, but there's conversations like oh, you're dating the OS system, yeah, and oh yeah, some other guy tried that, but the OS system isn't having it, so it is special.
Right.
It is a very individualistic experience that he is having, and the funny thing for me is that initially, she's it's the genesis of a new life form almost, and she's sweet and kind and dedicated to him.
Right.
Yeah,
and he's always in control.
Well, I don't think it's about control. You can see it that way. I chose to just think of, okay, fine, you fall off of the OS system, therefore I will give her respectability for consciousness and for choice, because even though he chooses initially when he wants to contact her and speak with her.
Exactly.
I think of it, it's a relationship. I even toyed in my head about the idea, like, what if it's not an OS system? What if it's just a person with
on the other side?
You know what I mean? That just I'm on 24 hours. This is my life. But it's not that. But I was just thinking about that, and it's two people getting to know each other, even though one of them is supposedly is electronic.
Right.
With all the resources of the internet. He asked her initially at their initial contact, what's your name? Brief pause. Samantha.
Right.
What were you doing? How did you? Oh, I just read some books.
Right.
I picked this name for myself. Like, you read how many books? 13,000.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. It's funny because that thing, and we're older. We've experienced a bit more, and that teamwork, that interest when that first love or that catches. When you're part of a team and you're there, and I got your back, and let me help you do that.
Yeah.
And it's all about you. You're the center of the. Yeah, this is why you hate it. I know. This is why it hurts.
Yeah, because you're in that bubble, and you give yourself into that bubble, because I don't think
again it's fully immersive. You cannot. I'm watching it. I'm watching things happen. Conversations are realistic and true. Film feels sometimes a little slow, but natural.
Right.
And I'm sitting there. I'm watching it. I'm like, and I'm thinking in my head about my old relationships and people, and I'm like, I remember a conversation similar that I had once. Right. And it's all like, oh my god.
And the other thing that caught me and caught you is that we thought about this question about all right, he's in this relationship. What about long term? We thought about him, not her. Him would be to the point where he could die at any time. Something could happen to him and he'd become incapacitated. We not for once saw this coming about her growing up or,
branching out and outgrowing him.
And
even though from the first instance that we know her name,
right,
she has the capability of doing that. It is she starts out, as I guess all things would start out, just learning about the universe.
Right.
And yet needing, I think, human contact to show it the way, to guide it, And because Theodore is non-threatening, is kind, and is relatively interesting,
right,
she stays with him. Just like, and it's her first love,
right,
essentially, which is kind of sweet. And there's little bits about because they're having intimacies together, which
it was kind of awkward to watch.
Yeah, screen fades to black, but
very stylistic. Right. But then you realize it makes perfect sense, because if you're in that moment and you have someone on the phone and you're doing that, it's almost as if there is this the Unimatrix 001,
wow,
like with the Borg, all meet.
Voyager, okay, yeah.
No, they all meet at this one point. Regardless of wherever they are, they have this connection immediately at this one point. So the darkness kind of bridged them together, and it was kind of... You didn't have to see anything. You just let your imagination roll around, because it was all black, and then that's where it was just like... I really felt like I was prying too much on them. Really
a little embarrassed, yeah.
Because that's their moment, but then again... I
paid $5 to be here.
Right, exactly. If we're watching porn, we were like, what the hell happened here? I'm it's all black,
Projection! Focus! What's going on?
Open up the damn film. So it had a lot more impact emotionally than it does if you had to see this visual action, because it wasn't about that. It was just an emotional connection to these two characters. That's what's great about that. And that's what gets me upset, because I also felt I never saw this coming. I gave myself to this movie. I never saw the ending coming, where she up and leaves. And, when you hear lines like, oh, honey, it's okay, I'm right here. And then he figures out, it's like, how many people do you love? And she kind of admits how many people she's been seeing.
She's a computer program. She has access to the internet.
Yeah.
And she's constantly enriching herself, probably for you, initially, to make your life easier.
Right.
To talk about things that you like.
But
that
that's
kind
not
of
the
knowledge,
case. Yeah,
that kind of experience, as I grow, as I mature, any person's like that.
Yeah.
It's almost like your kids as they grow and leave you as well. But this is more intimate, though, of course.
Right. Because the kids will always be in your life. They always come back eventually. With Samantha, we don't know what the hell's going to happen. I mean, they could just go ahead and start creating Skynet for all we know. And then...
But that was interesting about it, too. I started thinking about that after a while, but I've never seen, I don't think, a movie like this where it's not malicious.
Right.
It's all for your benefit. And there's a moment where Samantha, they're in that last horrible third. His job is that he writes letters. So he reviews information about a family and writes personal letters for families, because this is what they do in this alternate future. And that's his job. And she reads the letters that he's written, and she writes to publishers and gets the book printed, pretty much. Which, I was like, wow, that would be great if something in my life, either a person, which would be nice, and, or whatever, or a companion, or someone would do that for me. Find your best strengths.
Right.
And whether you know it or not, help work those out and get them publicly displayed, or, help you get that talent out.
Right.
I was like, that was really sweet and nice. And then she fucks him and screws him over and leaves.
So to speak.
Yeah, well, sorry.
So, no, but it's a valid point. And then I thought about, well, why did his relationship in the first place with his first wife break up to begin with? And we see this in flashbacks, and then we see a moment, and he says, I'm tired of being this, I guess, happy or perky person.
Right, she says.
You can't do this. And I thought about this moment here where he writes all these letters. He's emotionally invested in doing his job and doing it really well. So that my thing is that by the time you get out of work, if you're doing this for a living, you really have nothing else to give to someone else. So you want someone else to kind of do that for you and be that sunshine in your life. So this way you can get the glow or something that emanates from them and you can feel recharged. And I'm thinking that's why, this is just my interpretation. That's why she just says, you know what, I can't do this anymore because that's not who I am. Whereas Samantha, sure,
you're a computer.
I'll do this. This is what I'm here for. And that's where I'm like, he's fine with that. And he's able to become those letters that he writes now doing this full time in his real life with Samantha because, they're going to places, they're composing music, and they're together, and that's where he's happiest. He's never had this kind of relationship. And that's what I felt so bad because it's like he's in the Nexus, the Star Trek Nexus, You're wrapped in joy, and then that joy is ripped away from you, and that's where I felt so bad that how the movie ended, because that's not.
I think what it was also may have been like the idea that it's like a loyal dog.
Yeah.
This is your personal OS system for you.
Yeah.
And it's going to learn all about you, and in this future, congratulations, you are lucky enough to want it to have a relationship with you. And there's a very awkward moment for me that I was like, she has, the OS system has insecurities. Like, I don't have a body, but I really care about you. So she, on her own initiative, goes out and starts emailing just, message boards and gets a sexual surrogate to come in, which was awkward, to be her. And, that she has the earpiece, and it's very sweet. It's an attempt for intimacy.
Right.
An experience shared. But it's just like, what am I watching? This is really weird. I get it, but it's logical.
Right.
It makes sense. But the thing is, for me, it's just you watch this, and it's just she never should have left. It doesn't make sense. Almost, you're my system. You're part of me, and
right.
You're a program, and we should be together. But just the fact that she outgrows him is an odd twist.
Yeah. But remember the video that I showed you earlier today about the Japanese creating this computer device that is supposed to.
Oh.
And I just had that moment where you're talking about the sex surrogate.
You have to explain it.
Okay, basically, it's that the Japanese are creating this computer program with the help of this special device to
AI glasses and other tactical devices.
It's a virtual reality plus tactical devices to make a man basically
use your imagination, but
fill in the blanks or have him blank all over you. But basically, if this is supposed to make this connection with a machine that's supposed to perform sexually for you, and I thought an interesting step for that to happen in the matter of reaching out to the physical world is having the machine use these different devices. But then it would have been weird. So it
would have been fully possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
In that world, instead of getting the sexual surrogate, here's a package for you. Put this on.
Right, and then I'll operate
and then I'll control it for you.
Right, exactly. So it's like the 15 minutes away. That's just around the corner. So we're seeing like this weird connection to what's coming down the road, and it's just it's again, it goes back to it's such a wonderful touch that's not about all science fiction, but it has that element of science fiction about a fantasy or a future that you want to believe in that and make that come true, because I can easily see myself if something should happen to my partner in which she passes away or something. You want to have some kind of companionship, and if we're limited with the amount of people that are around us, we have something that we can rely on. But even then, it's an old story that how technology winds up disappointing us in the end.
What can you rely on? Not too much.
No.
Only yourself.
And that's it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't that what Sarah Connor said? Whatever the.
I don't know. Wow, you threw it a pump go for it and I completely dropped it. Gee, this, I don't know.
Score is 1-2. Gene failed. Whatever.
I don't know, but I think that's the thing. The story is it moves at a slow pace, an understandable pace, and it's about two people falling or two entities,
right.
if you will, falling in love. And yet, we haven't even addressed the whole idea of, does she have a soul? Is she real?
Right.
Could she ever really happen? Of which the answer is, in my opinion, no. Just not.
Well, again...
There's a randomness to human nature that
right.
you cannot capture.
Which goes back to the whole OS. I mean, you have a 50% chance it's going to be male or female.
You can choose.
You can choose.
Pikachu.
And then after that, it chooses for itself, its own existence. So it has that element of biological life, but just electronic, which we're the exact same thing, except we got this mostly bag of water in our system. Star Trek reference.
Yeah, I know. I got that.
I know.
We're ugly bags of mostly water.
The score is 2-2 fail. So, but we're just going to have to end it here because I don't want to get so depressed because I've been wanting to get it off my chest anyway. But it's a great movie, and I'm glad that it's nominated for best
screenplay and best picture.
Best picture. So I would be.
Other things probably, yeah.
I'll be really gunning for it because, I mean, Gravity is still up there, and definitely this movie definitely qualifies. But honestly, we have American Hustle, Captain Phillips, we haven't seen, Dallas Buyers Club, 12 Years a Slave, Wolf of Wall Street, Philomena, and Nebraska. You know, usually any type of sci-fi movies, they're not going to pick. It's rare that something is going to have a sci-fi element and win for Best Picture.
Right.
So
it's too imaginative, and the Academy generally likes to reward films based in reality.
Right.
I don't think Gravity may not. Well,
although I think Her may have an element, but it's nothing like 12 Years a Slave. You know, which
stories about suffering generally win more than stories about.
Yeah.
Well, there is suffering in Her, but I don't know.
That's a personal suffering of one for a couple of days, maybe a year or two. Yeah, 12 years of being a slave. That's 12 times more.
How long have you been married, Monty? It's terrible.
16.
Yeah.
But I love my wife if she ever listens to this podcast.
Oh my God. Your own wife doesn't ever listen to this podcast?
She doesn't. No one ever listens to the podcast, Gene. You already told you about this. The one person or the 35 people, one and the same, who knows? Whatever. All right, so that pretty much ends our podcast for Her.
This ends our broadcast day. And
About
now our national anthem. Wow. And we're sober. This is...
Oh, well, you're sober. I'm tired. I'm spent.
In a room with me alone. Don't say that.
Why is this room dark?
Gene, what, you have seagull droppings on your window. Oh wait, why are those on the inside? No, see this.
Remember, Gene, this is a kindness. Doctor Who references.
Yes,
there we go.
That.
All right, so we'll see what happens in the future with upcoming podcasts, but for right now, we got 2 in the bag for 2014.
You got to close it right. Close it with your catchphrase.
Oh my God, I didn't even do it for the last one. I didn't do it for the last one.
Yes, this is such a forgettable, terrible catchphrase.
Suck it. So, it's the Monster Sci-Fi Show. Sci-fi from a certain point of view. Right, Gene?
Yes, sure.
All right, folks, let us know what you think.
Yes, comments below.
Please email us, monsterscifishow@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at the Monster Sci-Fi Show page. On Twitter, if you even like to do that, Monster Sci-Fi Show, but it's spelled MONSTERSYFY Show. Why?
Because we like you.
MOUSC. Go fuck yourself. What?
Let us know where you're out there.
Please. 35, one of you. Anyone? Fry.
This is a desperate call for help now.
Bueller. Good night, folks.
Why don't you make up the words to this one?
Okay.
Here it comes.
I'm lying on the moon, my dear. I'll be keep from you. It's a dark and shiny place, but with you, my dear, I'm safe